She gets all of her things out, and what comes out, she says, the big ass diamond ring, big enough for you to skate on. That's what she said. That's how big this damn ring is. So here. All right. What is up, everybody? It's your girl, Jada Diamonds here, back with another video. I think I'm going to have to change my name on here. I've had this Jada Diamonds persona for so long. I might just have to change it to like Diamond Reads or Diamond Reads and Smiles. I don't know. But anyway, I'm starting a new reading vlog. This is going to be the first reading vlog since my Winter in Sok Cho reading vlog mixed with a vegetarian. Or maybe, no, this would be the first one since me trying to read, what was that book? Murakami. So anyway, in today's reading vlog, we are going to be finishing 3 books that I started and I wanted to finish before the end of the year. So the first book is going to be, in no particular order, we have Days of Abandonment by Elena Ferrante. Here's the thing with Days of Abandonment. It follows a woman who is abruptly told by her husband that he wants a divorce, and it follows her spiraling in and out of control. They have 2 children together, and she does things that a person does when their heart is broken and their whole life has been their husband. And this was a real hard book for me. It was a really hard book for me. That's why I stopped it. If you know my story, you don't know my story. Some people that subscribe to this channel actually does know my story. But yeah, this book, it hit too close to home, which is why I had to stop reading it. But I'm so much better now. I feel so good about my life, about myself, that I'm willing to go ahead and give it a finish, which is about 90 pages. So, first book. Next book is going to be Rules of Civility by Amar Towles. He wrote A Gentleman in Moscow, which I have that book also. I'll probably be reading that in 2024. Today is the day after Christmas, actually. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year, which this video should be going up before the new year. This book follows 2 friends, Katie and this one guy in the middle of them. And I also forgot his name because it's been a while, but I'll refresh my memory during the vlog. But anyway, I stopped on page 146, and it is about 315 pages long, and I actually really like this story. So it follows the 2 friends. They're in New York. It's the Roaring Twenties. This is another one. I just finished Trust by Hernan Diaz, and that's definitely a Roaring 20s and 30s novel set in the time in which the boom was happening on Wall Street and subsequently the crash. And so I think that this is going to like be centered around that time, because they're going to meet this guy who is civil, like the rules of civility. He is a gentleman. He is very civil. He is very quiet. He is seemingly a loner, and he is very rich. And they meet him on New Year's Eve, and they all become really great friends. And then the last one that we're going to be finishing is going to be Either Or by Elif Batuman. You know, The Idiot was a smash sensation. It was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize. It was a wonderful book. It was a YouTube darling, a booktube darling. And so she came up with her second one, which is Either Or, which is equally as good. And I just never finished it. So I stopped on page 177. And this is like a 300 and some odd page book. So I got just about halfway left in this one, which is going to be wonderful to read through. So this is her sophomore year at Harvard, and still the woes of her love life, finding herself, figuring out which way she wants to go in her dating life, and also her education, and just coming into her own as a woman and like entering into adulthood in a new phase of her life is pretty much what this is about. And still like her journey with her Russian literature and like other nostalgic moments and parts of the 90s. And so yeah, that's what this one's going to be on. And so this is going to be the third one that we're going to be reading in the blog. So anyway, so yeah, these are the 3 books that we are going to be reading for the next couple of days. I'm excited. Right now, like I said, today is December 26th. And I'm about to go to the gym. So here's what we're doing. So I'm about to get ready to work out, and I'm also going to go to my favorite bookstore, which I tried to go to a couple of days before Christmas, but they had already taken their Christmas break just a little bit early. So I'm hoping that they're open today. So we're going to go there and do a little bit of book shopping. I just want to see if I can find some things before I place the order online. For some books that I want to add to my TBR for 2024. So I'm just really looking for a particular set of novels that I don't want to, of course, say yet because it's going to be a video. So yeah, that's what we're about to get ready to do. So I'll definitely take you guys with me, not to the gym, but to the bookstore. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. And then of course we'll come with some updates. I haven't decided which one we're going to read first, but in the clip, you'll see which one I'm going to go into first. I got an idea, but, yeah. So anyway, I'll see you guys in a minute. Bye.
And right, I also read
I'm here. I made it to my favorite secondhand bookstore to see if I can come up on some books. I'm just gonna get my wallet. Just gonna take my wallet, and that's all. I'm gonna put it inside my jacket. What's this? Oh, this is the schedule for the YMCA. Anyway, I got my wallet. Do I have my keys? My wallet and my key and my phone. Maybe take my AirPods, because sometimes I'm in here for like a couple of hours. The longest I've been in here is an hour. 2 hours. The shortest, like 45 minutes. So sometimes I have to put on some music while I'm browsing or whatever the case may be. Best teacher ever. Alright, so we're about to get ready to go in and yeah. Should I with Outlander? Diana Gabaldon. These, definitely not, but they have both of them. I hate that this has this here. It's very long. No Colleen Hoover.
No, that's a terrible rule.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing all right.
Well, I'm certainly glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Are need to fill that basket up
Right.
with all this good stuff.
Yeah, I see some new things going on
Well,
here.
You do? Now,
Yep.
why that is?
I wonder too. Y'all got some donations in?
Well, maybe we're just trying to, appeal to a broader sensibility.
Okay. But they have this Jose Saramago, and I want to see if they have The Blindness over here by him. My girl, Library of Labyrinth, was just talking about him. Alright. Okay. So, like I said, I can be long-winded. I just left from out of the bookstore. It's 12:40. I've been in there for an hour. So I just wanted to show y'all real quick the books that I got, and then I'm about to head to the gym. So I picked up Bernard Malamud's Malamud's The Assistant. I do think this was just adapted as a movie. I don't know, but it says here, originally published in 1957, is the story of Morris Barber, a grocer in post-war Brooklyn who wants better for himself and his family. First, two robbers appear, and I can't see the rest. Frank Alpine becomes his assistant, but there are complications. Frank, whose reaction to Jews is ambivalent, falls in love with Helen Bomber. At the same time, he begins to steal from the store. Like Malamud's first short story, this novel unerringly evokes an immigrant world of cramped circumstances and great expectations. It has defined the immigrant experience in a way that has proven vital for several generations of readers. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know what I've got myself into. Then we got Kate Chopin's The Awakening. So y'all know what The Awakening is. This is a nice little short thing, and I'm just gonna read a little bit at the back. It says, when first published in 1899, The Awakening shocked readers with its honest treatment of female marital infidelity. Audiences accustomed to the pieties of late Victorian romantic fiction were taken aback by Chopin's daring portrayal of a woman trapped in a stifling marriage who seeks and finds passionate physical love outside the straitened confines of her domestic situation. I'm excited for this one. I can't wait. I don't like the cover, but I do like the pages and how I just like that. Then I picked up Today a Woman Went Mad in a Supermarket, stories by Helma Wolitzer. This is a pretty book. It's blurred by Michael Cunningham, author of The Hours. Lauren Groff, I forgot what she wrote, but I think no, that's Patricia Lockwood. I know Lauren wrote something. And Elizabeth Strout, which I did start her series. I read My Name is Lucy Barton last December, around this time last year. So I do need to finish the Lucy Barton, and she did write the foreword. I don't know who this woman is, but let's just read this. From her many well-loved novels, Helma Wolitzer, now 91 years old and at the top of her game, has gained a reputation as one of the best fiction writers who raises ordinary people and everyday occurrences to a new height. These collected short stories, most of them originally published in magazines including Esquire and the Saturday Evening Post in the 1960s and 1970s, along with a news story that brings her early characters into the present, are evocative of an era that still resonates deeply today. In the title story, a bystander tries to soothe a woman who seems to have cracked under the pressures of her life, and in several linked stories throughout, the relationship between the narrator and her husband unfolds in telling and often hilarious vignettes. Other time and yet timeless, Wolitzer stories zero in on the domestic sphere and wit, candor, grace, and acutely observant eye, brilliantly capturing the tensions and contradictions of daily life. Today, A Woman Went Mad in the Supermarket is full of heart and insight, providing a lens into a world that was often unseen at the time and is often overlooked now, reintroducing a beloved writer to be embraced by a whole new generation of readers. I'm excited. I did read the first page of Today a Woman Went Mad, and that's what made me grab this. And I just saw this on accident looking for Jose Saramongo's Blindness. But anyway, I came across The Stone Raft instead, and it says here, winner of the 1998 Nobel Prize for Literature. He won 2, I think. But I was very intrigued by the synopsis of this. I've never heard anyone talk about this. It's called The Stone Raft, and it's translated from the Portuguese by Giovanni Pontero. And here it says, one day, quite inexplicably, the Iberian Peninsula simply breaks away from France and the rest of the continent and begins to drift as if it were a sort of stone raft. Pandemonium sets in. Tourists panic. Crowds gather on Spanish cliffs to watch as the newly formed island sails by. Meanwhile, 5 people on the island are drawn together, first by a string of surreal events and then by love. As the bewildered government ponders what to do about the disaster, the intertwined lives of the 5 strangers are clarified and forever changed by their geographical, spiritual, and sexual voyage to an unknown destination. This highly original epic is an irresistible blend of shrewd detail and lyrical fantasy from one of Europe's best regarded and best-selling authors. So yeah, I'm excited, girl. It's 1998. Take me back in time. I'm going to be moving back into what this vlog is. And so I brought along with me rules of civility for when I do my 12-3-30 on the treadmill. And I will give you guys an update in the next clip. All right, y'all. So I just finished what is an hour-long workout. But I was thinking, I left my tripod at home. I know I look a little dry. Whatever, okay? Whatever. But when I tell you my legs hurt so bad. So I do a lot of weightlifting. And so I've been feeling it. This whole time I've been on my break so far, I've been feeling my body. It hasn't been feeling terrible, but I just been feeling real sore. So I made it my mission today to, what am I doing? Going to do cardio only. So I started out.
Please fasten driver seat belt.
Okay, I'll fasten it. I started, and my pelvis, my legs, my calf muscles, everything's hurting. So I wanted to go get some donuts. So I just had a really good workout, and I'm about to go to Gibson's Donuts and get some donuts. That's what I really came on camera to say. That it don't matter. I did this wonderful workout. I feel good, but I'm really sore. I haven't eaten anything today but a donut, and I made my own coffee. And then I just had a Celsius. This was actually a good, I was about to reach for it, but the light turned green. It was actually a good flavor, some tropical something flavor. But I burnt like 345 calories, and I want to get some donuts. And I told my daughter I was trying to get some donuts Christmas Eve, but they were closed on Christmas Eve, and I've been really craving them. I just want regular chocolate glaze, dipped in chocolate donuts. They have a whole bunch of different flavors that are really good. They got this one maple bacon one, but I don't want any of that. I might get a couple. I don't know. But I just want some donuts. So we're about to get some donuts, and we're going to head home. So the entire time that I was on the treadmill, I did read. Where's my book? Hold on. I know I brought it out. Yeah. I read some more of Rules of Civility, and it's good. So the part that we're on right now is it's on summertime. And so what summertime consists of is Katie. So Katie has taken on a job at a publishing house with this guy named Nathaniel, and he's old. He's not really ahead of the times. He's actually, like, basically how she describes it is he's like kind of living in the past. he likes old things. It spoke on Fyodor Dostoevsky and Leo Tolstoy and how those are the loves of his life, and he searches for content like that, and he's looking for manuscripts that are along those lines. And so basically she's not getting paid any money, but she likes it, and they met each other by chance or whatever. And he's pretty famous in his day, so when he offered her the job, she was like, sure. And only to find out by the time her first paycheck rolled around, because he definitely told her he would love to have her come to the company, but she wouldn't make enough, and like, he's behind the times. And he wasn't lying, but she still liked it, but she didn't make enough. She made half of what she made at her last job. So next thing you know, he's looking out for her. So one of the older guys that used to work for him shows up to the office or whatever. They're having a conversation. This guy leaves. The next thing you know, he tells her, hey, I have a proposition for you. The guy that you saw in my office, he's opening up a new magazine. He's looking for a couple of assistant editors. You should go interview for the job. And she's like, no, I like it here. He's like, I know you like it here, but you know you're not making enough money, and who knows how long, I'll be open. You should go and see what he's talking about. You'll be making good money. You'll be in the limelight. You'll be in a circle of the new New York. Mind you, this is in the 20s. Okay, don't forget 20s, like 19, 22, 23, 24, 25. So, and she meets this guy, and I'm gonna get his name for you guys in a second. But girl, come to find out, yes, is everything that she thought as far as like the pay is concerned and like the circle that she'll be in, but he's mainly looking for a lackey, which is like an assistant, someone to do any and everything that he wants you to do. It puts you in the mindset of what's her name? The Devil Wears Prada. It's exactly that. The job of what's the girl? Y'all know the assistant in The Devil Wears Prada. I forget her name, but she's Eileen. She's I think Rebecca and Eileen, the new Eileen movie. I can't think of her name right now off the top of my head, but Princess Diaries chick. That same type of gig, that how she started in The Devil Wears Prada, that's exactly what Kate is thrust into with this new position with this guy, Mason Tate. She loves it. She loves it. She was excited. Like, he asked her a lot of questions, told her what he was looking for, and she was like, that's not what Nathaniel said. And he was like, of course that's not what Nathaniel said. I wasn't going to tell him exactly what I needed. He wasn't going to offer you up, And so she likes it, and so we're getting into what her role is consisting of and the ins and outs at the office and how it's going to be like this new Vogue style gossip magazine. So it puts you in the mindset of the National Enquirer, but with more class. And so that's where we are with it right now, and I'm loving it. It's actually seeming like a really good place to start. It's a really good place to start in the novel, and it's really interesting. So I'm excited, and I know some drama's about to ensue because I haven't heard them speak of Eve or Tinker. Those are the other characters, because remember I told you guys this is a love triangle. So Katie's the narrator. She's narrating a story, but it's most definitely about her lifestyle, and it's definitely about Eve, and it's about Tinker as well. So that's the update. I'm here at Gibson, so I'm about to go in here and do my thing. So I'll see you guys in a minute. That was fast. This is just what I wanted, so yeah. Donut. All right. See y'all in a minute. All right. Hey y'all. So we are, hold on, let me just see. All right. It's the next day. And it's a little bit later in the day. Let me see. It's not that late. It's 4:58 here in Memphis, Tennessee. Today is December 27th, and I'm here to, continue on with the vlog and talk about rules of civility. So this will probably be the last check-in. This mug is for a left-handed person. It's my favorite mug. Best teacher ever. From Stuart. I'll never forget. But, yeah. So anyway, we're here for a check-in. I have about 100 pages left, right at 100 pages left. And let's just talk about it. Okay, so the last check-in, I did not, we were mainly talking about Katie and just how she had gotten this new position that was along the lines of Anne Hathaway. I could not get her name. To save my life, but it was Anne Hathaway or whatever. So she's like in this Devil Wears Prada it's 1938, by the way. That's what it is. We are in 1938. So this is after the Wall Street crash. This is a little bit after the Depression. So she's got this job at this like new up and coming magazine, and she has this boss that's like the devil, and the Devil Wears Prada, and she's Anne Hathaway. And so she's living her life. And so then she goes to this party. First of all, let's just set the tone. Let's just set the tone of this book. This book is giving glamour. This book is giving what's the movie? This book is giving Great Gatsby, okay? But without all of that drama. Okay, this is a different type of drama. It's not even drama. It's more just like, it's not quiet. The ambiance of this novel is, let me tell you about my life. And it's like every chapter lends to the next chapter, but not so much. It's just very quaint. I'll give my words together in a minute. I haven't done a reading vlog in so long. So anyway, she's telling us about everything that's happening, and she comes into contact with a new group of people, of friends, and these friends are a little bit younger than her, and she knows it because she just can tell, just a few years. And she runs into a guy. He's also a little bit younger. His name is Dickie, and then they subsequently go on this like little adventure or whatever, and they end up at a party at someone's house, the Woolcott's house, and it's a mansion. They just snuck into the party, and so after getting into the party, getting some drinks, and they fit in just like any other, 1938 people living in New York. They're dressed right, and then the little group that she's with, they are wasps in a way. They're like a little waspy, but they just haven't gotten their footing, and they're from like Boston. They're not from New York, but they know each other. They know people at the party or whatever, so they fit in. They weren't invited, but they're welcome. So then she sees this guy behind her. He sees her, taps her, and he's like, "Hey, aren't you Katie?" And she turns around, and it's what is his name? God damn it. I'm doing terrible. I'm doing so freaking bad. His name is so on the tip of my tongue. He has gone what is his name? Wallace. So she sees Wallace. Wallace has a stammer. Wallace and her were introduced by Tinker. Tinker is the guy in the love triangle that they met at the beginning of the story, at this little speakeasy. So Tinker is a banker, the well-off banker. I don't know if I told you guys this yet, but anyway, how the love triangle happened, you definitely can tell that Tinker likes Katie at the beginning of the story, not Eve. Both of the girls are beautiful. Eve is very fun and funky, jazzy. She's given like her own vibe. She doesn't like to be controlled, but she knew that Tinker had money. But the girls had decided at the beginning of the story, listen, they're just gonna let things be. Whichever way Tinker goes, cool. But let's just be friends with him. And they were just gonna be friends with him. So what ends up happening is they end up getting in a car accident. And the car accident is Tinker's fault. He says that it's his fault. It's not his fault. They got hit from behind, and due to lack of seatbelts, Eve got pushed out of the throughout the windshield, hit a tree, and her face is split from here to here. She has a scar down the center of her face going in a diagonal direction, and Tinker is distraught, devastated about it. And he goes on, that's at the beginning of the year in January. He goes on to basically be at her beck and call because of this situation, when at the beginning of the story, you could tell that him and Katie were getting close. So I'm just setting the stage for you guys. And that puts a strain on Katie's relationship with both of them, with Eve and with Tinker, because they were having these cute little whimsical moments together. They were having, you could just tell she was something different. Like I said, she's a beautiful woman, but she doesn't rely on her beauty. She much would rather like go to a coffee shop, read a book, talk about books, talk about life, gain perspective, than flaunt around town in a beautiful dress, a mink coat, and some heels, and party and get drunk all night. That's Katie. She doesn't want to do that, and she doesn't come for money. Eve, on the other hand, is that what I just described, and Eve comes for money. So that's their dynamic. They're different, but Eve is still, she's a cool cat. So that's the tone setting of the novel. Now, let's come back to present, where I am in the book right now. So she runs into Wallace, who was introduced to her at one of Tinker's parties. He has a stammer. He's also a very well-to-do, very rich guy. And they kind of go jet setting a little bit. They haven't gone out the country or anything, but you could tell that they are too. It is described as, what does she call it? What does she say? She says, you can kind of tell that they haven't quite found their person in each other, but they do have something. They have chemistry, but they are not willing to explore it any further than what it is. Like, they're not forcing it, but they really enjoy each other's company. That's how she described it. And so they just start seeing each other. No sex happens, nothing like that, but they're just really close, and they're just really like hanging out. And then Wallace ends up, coming and checking up on her every other day, until she finds out that he decides to enlist in some war going on in Spain. It's not quite clear what it is, but he definitely, he enlists in a war in Spain, but he's still kind of looking out for her while he's gone. Like, he made sure that she's set up now. Fast forward, he made sure that she's set up to go to the party that's the party of the century, the party that's at the end of the summer that the Walcotts throws at their mansion in New York. And next thing she knows, she gets a letter saying that she's invited. She goes, finds an earring in the bathroom, and she automatically knows this is Eve's earring. They're back in town, and everyone at the party is kind of talking about, the inevitable, the thing that possibly happened. Oh my goodness, Tinker has proposed to Eve. She knew they're not made for each other, and she's like, oh my goodness, is everybody trying to tell me that they've gotten engaged? Like, he proposed to her? And now I'm at the part where, I'm past that. So much has happened in the last 75 pages, girl. So now I'm at the part where she leaves a party because she doesn't want to actually hear someone say that they're engaged. So she decides to leave, and she's feeling sick and queasy. And in the middle of the night, the police knock on her door. I'm thinking, look, me trying to do some foreshadowing. Her and this swimmer girl are in the bathroom. That's how they find the earring. So she gives the earring to the girl. The girl's like, it's not mine. They look around for the other one. They don't find it. And the swimmer girl gives Katie back the earring. And she's like, luck of the draw or something like that. Or some cool little name like that or whatever. And she leaves because she feels sick and she wants to go home. So one of the Walcotts, his sons, takes her home. And the police come knocking 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Bring her down to the station, and it is Katie, drunk and disoriented, in a jail cell. And she's like, what? Because she hadn't heard from them in just like a month or so. They went off to France, to Paris, and she hadn't heard from them. He tells her, he asks her a couple of questions, trying to figure out what type of woman she is. And it's like, did she commit a crime or not? Okay, I'm going to take her home. She gets all of her things out, and what comes out, she says, the big ass diamond ring, big enough for you to skate on. That's what she said. That's how big this damn ring is. So she's like, just what I thought, they're engaged. Only to find out the next morning, Katie is like, bitch, please. You know, I don't like being controlled. I got pregnant. This is a spoiler. Sorry. I got pregnant. Found out I was pregnant, got an abortion in France. She said, I haven't told Tinker yet that I got the abortion. That's why he proposed to me. She said, you know, and I know that we were not meant to be together. It's like vinegar and oil. And I think that when Eve said that to Katie, she was like, yes, like, well, she didn't say it, but she's like, are you okay with the decision? She was like, come on. You know, a lot of things happened. January changed my life. You know, yeah, I had to get used to being, you know, fucked up in the face, but my values have not changed. That's her right now. Her values have not changed. Like, girl, you know I don't like being controlled. And he is the worst. She said men are the worst when they think that they owe you something. And so that was confirmation to Katie that Eve knew all along. The only reason why Tinker was being this type of guy to her was because he felt like he owed her, because he felt like the accident was his fault. The disfigurement of her face was his fault, which it already said in the beginning of the story. Even though she had, you know, the scar on her face, she was still very much a beautiful woman. And I could see that. I can see that. So where we are now, fast forward just a couple of more pages, girl. Eve done took her ass, said she was gonna go back home to Chicago or wherever her parents are from, somewhere in Chicago, somewhere in, what's Chicago? Illinois, somewhere in Illinois. And they're excited about it, only for her to stay her ass on the train and go to California. Daddy called trying to figure out where the hell she at. Katie's like, I don't know. If I knew, I'd tell you. Next thing we know, Tinker ass is coming and calling, trying to figure out about Katie and what she got going on. Done invited her up to the mountains for a weekend for them to talk. So that's where I am in the story. And so, like basically with me telling the story, y'all can tell, like, okay, this is actually a really good book. It's really good. And this was his debut novel. And I have right up there poking out, I have A Gentleman in Moscow, which I will be reading in 2024 sometime. I think I'll save that for like October, November, because it's like a wintry type of book. So anyway, girl, that's what we doing. That's what we gonna be dipping in, we doing right now. So I'm on chapter 19. I have this much to go. And yeah, I plan on finishing it tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and finish it, and so the next time I actually come to you guys like talking is going to be with me finishing the story. So I'm about to sit here and read a little bit, give you a little bit of reading action. I got my pencil. I have just a little notes. This isn't like a super note-takey type of book. This book is giving entertainment, and I really, really like it. There's not anything, it's a couple little lines and sentences that are poking out at you, but this is definitely just like an entertaining novel. It's not super thinky. You don't have to think about it. You really like the drama going on, but you can tell that Amar has something to say. And I think that when we get to A Gentleman in Moscow, he really starts coming into his own, because I watch Elena Estelle, and she reviewed it last year or this year, I don't remember, and said it was like one of the best reads that she has had. So yeah, and talks about the scenes and just like all the stuff. So yeah, I'm about to sit here and read, and I think I'm gonna turn on my Marshall and I'm going to take a page out of my other girl Karen Reader's book and play some French music because I really like French music.
What spring is like. In other words,
Si bon de partir n'importe où. C'est si bon de se dire des mots doux. Ces petites sensations.
Good morning, everybody. All right, we're on to the next day. Today is Thursday, December 28th. And I finished Rules of Civility. I'm excited. So I'm just making me a little coffee. So what I do is I put an espresso shot in here. Then I add my cold brew. Well, actually, I add my syrup first. Salted caramel to runny. Just a little bit because this is heavily concentrated. It's heavily concentrated. Then I add my almond milk. Then I add my cold brew. So it's kind of like my version of the Starbucks nitro cold brew. That's my version. But I'm hearing there are reports that we could probably start drinking Starbucks again, because apparently the whole they don't support or they don't stand with Palestine thing was a coup. But we'll look more into that. But honestly, I've been liking making my own coffee at home. But I did get a lot of Starbucks gift cards for Christmas at work. That's what the students gave. That's what some of my colleagues gave. I did get a lot of them. I got like $75 in Starbucks gift cards. Somebody got to use it. They're not going to give me a refund on a gift card. Anyway, so, oh, and I'm about to make breakfast. I don't want a bagel. So I guess I'll make her a bagel. Anybody that's new here, Autumn is my daughter. I am a mother. My name is Diamond. I love to read. I'm a school teacher. And I'm just figuring out my way. And what's helping me do that is reading books. So we read. We read. Rules of Civility. We finished it. Now, what did I think? I liked it. I gave it 4 stars, 4 out of 5 stars. To be quite honest with you guys, the ending, there were some very awkward moments in this book. And what I mean by awkward is when Kate is speaking, because that's who's talking and who's telling us the story. I don't know, it just would go in and out. Like, it would go from like being this completely gripping tale of life in 1930s New York, all of the escapades, all of the fun, all of the glamour, the hustle and bustle, and then it'll like switch to her like having like a personal anecdote, or I guess her in her mid 50s, early 50s, speaking from the past, but you never would be able to tell when she's like going back and forth. I would have to like literally read for maybe a paragraph or 2 more to realize, oh, this is her 50-year-old self talking. I don't know. That was just the weirdest parts to me. That threw me off. That's what made it go from a 5 to a 4. Anyway, I really liked the way the story ended. I don't know. It honestly reminds me of a movie. It's giving movie vibes. So where we left off at, I think I was letting you guys know that Katie was back in cahoots with Tinker a little bit, who was dating Eve. And talking about Wallace and how Wallace went off to the war. Which war, I just am not sure. Some war, I just really don't know. It's very hazy. So yeah, anyways, to sum it up, this story is about perception. Kind of sort of along the lines of trust, where there's more than what meets the eye. Face value, smoke and mirrors. There's always something deeper going on with someone than surface level, and you can't trust what you see. You have to get to know people. You have to take the time. You have to ask the proper questions. You can't just go off of the way that they look. And what I mean by that is how the story wrapped up. The last 100 pages, things started to unfold about Tinker. Remember, I told you guys about how Tinker was this well-to-do guy, this banker, you know, initials on his coat, initials on his shirt, initials everywhere, sterling silver this, Tiffany this, Cartier this, Bugatti, driving a Bugatti, living in a penthouse apartment on Fifth Avenue. You know, Fifth Avenue in New York back in the day, that was where everybody lived. Go watch The Gilded Age. You'll know about Fifth Avenue in New York. And let's just say, I spoiled so much already. I'll just let you guys know that Tinker got to New York. So first of all, he's nothing that Eve thought he was. They thought he was preppy, private school, came from money, all of the things. And these are things that were never specifically said. That's the funniest part about this story. It's Eve's perception of Tinker that's carrying the whole preconceived notion that Tinker is all these things. He never specifically stated anything about being any of these things. It's all about what Eve thought. I'm sorry, well, Eve too, but it's mainly Katie telling the story. It's all about what Katie thought. And it's just not true. So Tinker got to New York by way of this woman named Anne. And Anne presented herself when they first met at the beginning of the story. Anne presented herself to Katie as Tinker's godmother. That's how old she was. And whole time she runs into them at this little boutique cafe in Chinatown, and Anne is like rubbing her hand up and down Tinker's thigh. And that's when she put two and two together and was like, they are fucking. They are not. This is not his godmother. This is not what it appears to be. They're having sex with each other. He's a kept man, basically. She finds out that Tinker has been kept this entire time. Girl, look at my hair. She finds out that Tinker, has been kept this entire time. He's not who she thought he was. And honestly, you really can't be mad at him because he never lied to you. He never told you anything. They had this chemistry, this unspoken bond. And he's just a guy who's stuck between the woes of life of trying to figure out if this is the path that he is supposed to be on or if he needs to do something else that'll make him more happy. But he's just, his brother Hank said something very interesting. He was just like, since he was 14, he got put out of prep school because his dad found the money that his mom was hiding to pay for Tinker to go to prep school and blew that money too. And he said ever since then, Tinker has been trying to figure out or trying to mend what was broken. And that's why he has found himself in the position that he's in with Anne in a penthouse apartment in New York that belongs to Anne, but falling in love with Jenny from the block, who's just as beautiful as they come, but has character and integrity that surpasses all of the smoke and mirrors around you going on around the city in New York. And so I really liked Amar's storytelling. I just really liked it. It really is like I watched a movie basically. And so I've just been in this whole trance since starting back up this book and watching things and reading things. And so one of the movies that came to mind, two movies came to my mind to remind me of this book. Pal Joey, a little bit of Pal Joey, a little bit of Bell Book and Candle with Kim Novak and I think James Stewart, I think that's his name. And then Pal Joey a little bit with the love triangle situation between Rita Hayworth, Kim Novak, and Frank Sinatra, and a newer age movie with Ewan McGregor and Renee Zellweger and Sarah Paulson called Down with Love. It all just brought back memories. And I've been listening to a lot of bossa nova. Y'all been hearing the music that I've been playing while I've been reading the book. So that's what this book has like done to me. And so I will say, obviously it has left some sort of mark on me because it just took me to a whole nother realm while I was finishing it up, and it did end up being good. So I don't know if I summed it up properly, but to end this novel off, Katie, being the firecracker that she is, did not accept the lifestyle that Tinker had. She that has been revealed about Tinker, and she held him to a higher standard, which made him in turn see that he was worth more than what it was that he was doing. However, they did not get together at the end. She ended up dating somebody completely different, marrying somebody completely different who she met at a party months prior. It's actually really good. It's actually really good. I don't have I'll give a detailed synopsis response when I do my December wrap up, but I liked it. It's good. It's very entertaining, and it puts you in New York in the 1930s. Okay. Now, moving on to the next book that I plan to finish today, we have Days of Abandonment by Miss Elena Ferrante. So I am right now still in the throes of the Neapolitan Quartet. I will be starting Those Who Leave and Those Who Stay in 2024. That's the third installment, but I want to go ahead and knock this out. So Days of Abandonment, when was it published? I don't know. I feel like I just have to go through all the motions. When it was published and all that jazz. Days of Abandonment was published in 2005. Europa editions. It was written in 2002. So maybe it got translated in 2005. I don't know. But it's translated from the Italian. is Miss Elena Ferrante. I have to say thank you to Rebecca Eves Books for introducing me to the world that is the Neapolitan Quartet, and then I just went into my own deep dive of all of her other things as I was like engulfed in that. I have 2 vlogs on the first 2 books if you want to watch those. Those are somewhere on my channel from 2001, I think, or 2002, I don't remember. But this book is about Olga. Olga is told on the first or second page or whatever that her husband comes home and tells her and decides that he doesn't want to be with her anymore. He wants to leave her. And it's honestly reminiscent of Natalia Ginsburg's The Dry Heart that I read last year, and I absolutely love, where he does the same thing in The Dry Heart. And I think she shoots him in his eye, in his face, and kills him. But she doesn't kill him in this book. Instead, you go through all of the emotions that is being left by someone who you completely adored, who you saw your life with, who you put all of your wants and needs on the back burner to justify everything that he needed, because you put him up on a pedestal and you feel like you guys are going to be together forever. They have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and it takes you through all of her mental anguish as it relates to breaking up. So, you know, the whole like grieving process that is leaving someone who you love, you know, all of the things that you can only imagine from being broken up with or breaking up with someone else. All of that, Elena Ferrante seemingly puts all that in this novel in such a gripping and visceral way to where I had to stop reading the book, child. I did. I had to stop reading this. It was very good. It was very intense, and it just made me feel. I wasn't in the proper headspace to finish this book. It was just too intense for me. But as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm in a better place. I'm in a better space. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm thriving. I'm single. And I'm focusing on me and my kid. So I think I can go ahead and get this done. And I'm actually excited to finish it off and see what happens next. I'm hoping that she is hopeful by the end of the book, because everything that she feels is justifiable. But at the end of the day, you do have to pick up and keep going, because life does go on. And I'm hoping that that's how we end the book off, but you just never know with Miss Ferrante. So that's what we're about to get started with. And I'm going to make these bagels for Autumn, or dress the bagels. Hey y'all. So I'm back. It's the same day from the last clip. It's just a little bit later on. It's still December 28th, Thursday, and it is 7:46. And I finished Days of Abandonment by Elena Ferrante. A few things I would like to say about this. Just like, I remember commenting on one of Renee's from So I Read This Book. She had did a video on reading all about Elena Ferrante, and she just, you know, talked about her musings and you know, rated the books, I think, and just talked about the themes and things like that. It was a great video. But you know, you can write novels, plenty of different theses from so many different angles on the type of writing that Elena Ferrante does. And one vantage point that I like to bring up is she does a great job of expressing the female experience. Her writing knows no race. Her writing spans over all different types of women, no matter your age, no matter your ethnicity, no matter where you are from, no matter how you talk. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. Elena Ferrante does such a great job of detailing the experiences of women. It's undeniable that this has to be taken from some sort of experience, whether it's witnessed as a third party or whether the inflictions have been on herself, or if it's a male, if this has been the man. It cannot be a man writing these novels. That's first of all. Excuse me. It can't be a man writing these. So with that said, with Days of Abandonment, When I picked this up, I quickly remember why I had to put it down. Girl, this book, I've been saying visceral a lot lately, but that's been a lot of the books that I have decided to read in 2023. They have all been visceral. They've all been so compelling. I haven't had a bad read this year. I've had some challenging reads. I've had some scary reads. But I've not had a bad read. And so this one, you feel all of the feelings, like everything that Olga is going through. You feel it, and it's amazing. So another thing I like about Miss Ferrante is that she just knows no bounds. She's willing to take it there. She's willing to talk about the things that we're told not to talk about. She's willing to express the unexpressible. She's willing to talk about feeling unseen, unloved, ugly, too old. She's willing to talk about how depressed she is. She's willing to talk about not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to shower, not wanting to brush your teeth, not wanting to take care of your children because you're so heartbroken. You don't know what to do. Everything that you've learned in this life is all a sham. It's all fake. How do I go on from here? When someone who's all I've ever known wants to leave me for a girl, a daughter of a friend of ours who's now coming to adulthood. That means you've been preying on her this whole time. It's insane, and the story is told so well. It's told so well. For me, Miss Ferrante did what she set out to do. With this novel, it's really a good read. She mentions Woman Destroyed in this novel. She mentions Anna Karenina and likens her experience to those two important pieces of literature. This book is something else. Okay, I just want to say that I highly recommend it. I think it's a wonderful read. I think anyone who's ever, like I said earlier, experienced any sort of heartache, heartbreak, you will relate to what Olga's going through. In this story, you'll feel seen, you'll feel heard, you'll feel like, oh my gosh, the next time something like this happens to me, I should be more vocal about it. This confirms all of your feelings. This novel confirms everything that you've probably ever felt. And then some, yeah, it's good. And there's also a movie, but it's in Italian, which I like subtitles. So I have to watch that one day. But I enjoyed this thoroughly. I'm glad I finished it before the new year. And all in all, it was good. It was good as well. Just like Rules of Civility. So yeah, it's a good read. And I like the ending also. I do like the ending. All right, moving on. I said I was gonna do this last one in the novel, but in the book. Let me see. This is one. I want this video to go up tomorrow, so I'm not gonna be able to finish this. I have to pull an all-nighter. This is. I got like 100. Let's see. Let's do the math. Hold on. I'm not gonna be able to do this one, y'all. I've been reading nonstop. 354 minus 177. I can't do the math in my head. Hold on. 354 minus 177. Oh, that's 177. 354 minus 177 equals 177. I cannot read 177 pages tonight. I can, but girl, no, I'm not gonna do it. So I'm gonna save this one for me, and I'm gonna just stop the video at just reading Rules of Civility and Days of Abandonment, because I want to make sure to edit this video, give it all that I got, and have it uploaded and go up tomorrow at 9 a.m. I like the 9 a.m. schedule that I have, or the 10, and just like, holding myself to task, making sure that I'm doing what I said that I was going to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, subscribe, share, whatever you want to do. Talk about the books with me in the comments. Tell me about some of the books that you're finishing off before the new year on Monday. yeah, and let's be friends. Let's be friends. All right, guys. I guess I'll see you guys in my next upload. Deuces.